The two latest updates about the Cleveland Browns just dropped, and they've left fans stunned. The quarterback battle has turned into a full-blown saga in Ohio, with 4 names in the mix and no clear starter. Kenny Pickett has a slight edge, but Joe Flacco remains the betting favorite in Vegas. Meanwhile, 2 rookies are starting to make some noise. The coaching staff plans to push everyone to the limit, and this preseason is shaping up to be an all-out war. If you're a big Browns fan, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any updates. Let's get into it. All right, here's the scoop on Cleveland's quarterback battle, and it's a wild one, folks. Training camp's about to kick off, and while the Browns have 4 quarterbacks in the room, Kenny Pickett's name is still floating slightly above the rest. That's according to Mary Kay Cabot, who says Pickett's holding a slight edge heading into camp, even though he didn't exactly light it up in spring practices. Descriptions like unremarkable and didn't pop have been tossed around, which isn't exactly what you want to hear when trying to snag QB1. Still, the guy's got his nose in front for now. But this isn't your typical QB competition. With 4 dudes vying for the throne, Pickett, Joe Flacco, rookie Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders, the Browns are planning to 2-spot practices. That means splitting them up on different fields to crank up reps across the board. And while Flacco may not need as much run to get comfortable, dude's basically a walking football encyclopedia at this point, he's absolutely in the mix to start week 1. Vegas seems to agree, with FanDuel listing Flacco as the betting favorite to be under center when Cleveland faces Cincinnati on September 7. That's not exactly surprising, considering the 39-year-old led the Browns on a playoff run last year and already knows how Kevin Stefanski wants things done. Meanwhile, none of the other guys has even taken a snap in Stefanski's system. Still, there's a feeling in the building that some folks are rooting for Pickett to take the reins. The guy just turned 27, so he's not some young project. They want to see if he's got the juice to be the guy. Flacco, for all his wisdom, turns the big 4-0 during the season. Long-term, probably not the move, but short-term, he's steady. As for the young guns, Gabriel and Sanders, the Browns seem keen on keeping them on ice for at least the first 6 weeks, and that makes sense, considering the brutal opening stretch: Bengals, Ravens, Packers, Lions, Vikings in London, and Steelers. Baptism by fire? No thanks. Cabot says we'll start to get a clearer picture around mid-August when Cleveland practices with the Eagles. Whoever runs with the ones in those joint sessions probably has the inside track for week 1. And that second preseason game in Philly could be a big swing point too. Gabriel and Sanders are expected to tag team that one, and if either pops off, it could change the dynamic fast. And just to stir the pot a little more, Mike Jones from The Athletic chimed in, saying Flacco seems to have the actual edge despite Pickett's paper-thin lead. One thing's for sure, this QB battle is far from over and it's about to get spicy. And if you thought that was messy, here's the kicker. New reports say the rookies are already turning heads, and Gabriel might just shake things up sooner than expected. The quarterback circus in Cleveland is officially in full swing, and while the rookies are already warming up the turf, the veterans are rolling into town July 22nd. That means we're about to witness one of the most chaotic and wide-open QB battles the league's seen in a while. Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel are already getting their feet wet in camp, while Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett will join the action as the reps get split 4 ways starting Tuesday. Head coach Kevin Stefanski and his crew are about to crank the microscope up to 100 as they figure out who's getting the keys to this offense. The media? Just as split as the coaching staff. On ESPN Cleveland, Tony Rizzo's riding with the younger guns, saying he'd keep his eyes on Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel to possibly start the season. Rizzo's big question is, what's the order? Because, let's face it, even the depth chart right now is like trying to read tea leaves. But he's got faith that Pickett's experience and Gabriel's upside make them the top 2 contenders. Now Tony Grossi? He's not ready to hop off the Flacco train just yet. According to him, it's Flacco and Pickett leading the charge, with Gabriel ahead of Sanders. But he made one thing crystal clear. The Browns are seriously intrigued by Dillon Gabriel. From the neck up, Grossi says the kid processes like a first-rounder. which makes sense given his 6 years in college and that leadership aura he brought to Oklahoma and Oregon. Gabriel, for his part, followed a similar path to Bo Nix, transferring to Oregon, balling out, and now trying to make waves in the NFL. And if Nix's smooth start in Denver is any indication, maybe Gabriel's not as far off from making a splash in Cleveland as folks think. Still, the question remains, can Gabriel master Stefanski's system fast enough to leapfrog Flacco and Pickett for Week 1? That's the million-dollar storyline. And let's not forget about Deshaun Watson looming in the background, still on the mend, but part of this tangled web nonetheless. The Browns kick off preseason action August 8th against the Panthers, and insiders expect Gabriel and Sanders to take center stage in that game. But whether we get a clear QB1 name before that first snap is anyone's guess. This battle is only just heating up, and by the looks of it, no one's got the job locked down yet. This QB race is wide open, but with so many options and no clear direction, the Browns better not fumble the decision. Flacco's reliable, but the future might be with the rookies. Subscribe and stay on top of it all.